I like watching channels like that, and I just started looking around, and people kept asking, like, why don't you record? Why don't you record? Why don't you record? Okay, we'll just start recording. So I take it if you clicked on this video that you are the type of person who has built a treehouse or two in your day. I'm just betting that. I don't know. But welcome. You know, I was asked for a long time to just start filming and recording a lot of the stuff we do on my property, and I just never really took the time. And then I came across a camera that was in my kitchen from an old trip that we had taken with my mother-in-law who had passed away. And I got really excited because I thought we were going to find a lot of footage on that. And it turns out there were only about 12 to 13 minutes. And at that point, it just, I don't know what it was, but it just sort of unlocked this desire to film and record. So what you're about to see is basically the time lapse of our treehouse build. You know, what is it about a fantasy film, or what is it about like a Lord of the Rings or the movie Hook or any movie or story that has adventure that just sort of does it? I can't explain it. I don't know if it's like the hero's journey. I don't know if it's the idea of discovery or if it's like treasure hunting. I don't know what it is, but it just does it for me. You know, we decided to start cleaning up this old house that we had purchased about 5 years back, and it's been this long process. And looking back now, I wish I had the camera on it because there was so many fun memories. But there's this space on our property that was just unused. It was really cool. I mean, we have huge boulders and we have a bunch of really fun stuff on the property, but it was just unused. And we decided just to start clearing it. Cool thing about the property, and I say cool, even though at times it can give you a headache, the people who owned it before us used these back hills as basically their garbage dump. I think they would burn stuff. I think they would just toss bags. And that was probably back in the 60s, 70s. And what's cool is us uncovering the rocks and uncovering all these different aspects of the property. You start to find these old bottles, old Coke bottles. Some companies I'd never even heard of. They just start to emerge from the cracks and crevices of the different boulders and things like that. You know, most of it's broken glass, which is really irritating because it takes so long to pick up. Such a headache at times trying to clean up an area, and say you clean up an area and then all of a sudden it rains again, and there you are back to cleaning it up again. But to me it's just worth it because I can see the property's potential. We decided just to start clearing it and taking the time, and then we realized after we cleared it, it would be a really, really cool spot to put a treehouse. It's just got multiple levels, multiple spots where we can put in some stair sets and things like that, to where it just adds to the different levels and things like that. But for whatever reason, and my wife probably explains it best, when you step to that back part of the property that we've been working on, she goes, it just feels like we've been teleported to somewhere else, and it feels just whimsical and it feels magical. For her to say that means a lot, but the biggest thing is knowing that you're creating a space that does have a magic to it. You know, to any person who's ever gone to Disney or gone to like a paradise location like the beach or up in the mountains, there's something magical about it. I spent most of my life traveling to these locations and experiencing the magic there, which is cool. And don't get me wrong, I'll go 1,000 times. I love it. But for whatever reason, it takes on a completely different nature and form when the place belongs to you and you're creating it, and the magic that's forming is forming at the tips of your fingertips. And then you get to watch your kids create their own magic and create their own adventures using their imagination. And that to me is winning. We kind of got an idea on the design, and it's a never-ending, always growing design. I think we're about to start adding some more here pretty soon. We also have other projects going on, which will be fun. And again, you're interested in anything like that, hobbit holes or greenhouses or chicken coops or anything like that, just check out the channel, subscribe. But I think we're probably going to add on here pretty soon. My encouragement is dream over your space. Dream over your home. Dream over everything that you put your hands to. Do your best to leave the world a better place than when you got here. I can't really explain why that's so important in my heart, but I like the idea of knowing that my kids and my grandkids and my great-grandkids will get to walk on a planet that is doing better than when I walked it. But anyways, I don't want to sound too preachy. We have enough of that in the world, and it's done very little to progress. So, yeah, again, when we got the property, the old owner basically told us, he said, good luck digging anywhere because there's nothing but rocks everywhere. And he was not far off from that statement. That was the truth. It was really difficult setting the post because anywhere you dug, I mean, just about you were nailing a big, not just a tiny rock, you were nailing a boulder. So what we had to do is we had to drill into the rocks and set some rebar and put the post down onto those, which made it a little bit more difficult, but I felt good about it because I really wanted to incorporate the rocks. As you can see, it just had an aesthetic to it that was epic and awesome. So we wanted to use that, and it turned out really, really cool. Obviously made some mistakes along the way, but I think that's a part of the process. You learn from them, and you move forward. I know that Jim, he likes straight lines, and he likes perfect measurements, and I'm not necessarily that. I don't mind it looking a little bit sideways or crooked or angled or whatever, and that's probably why it took the shape that it did. Honestly, it wouldn't have looked as good without Jim. Having a friend like that who can listen to your dreams, listen to your visions, and go, okay, well, how can I help you fulfill that? Even if it's not necessarily the exact way that I would do it, I still want to help you and I still want to be involved. That speaks a lot about the caliber of friend that he is. Because honestly, it wouldn't have turned out as good. But I think he was just as driven as I was because his kids were just as excited as mine. And, you know, his dream is my dream in the sense we desire that our kids would grow up together, play together, live life together, and when we're gone, still be doing life together. And if I can create an atmosphere, if we can create an atmosphere that can steward that and help that, I think I'm winning. You know, I spent a good portion of my life traveling. I was a music minister for a little while and sat in many conferences and sat in many teachings and sat under a lot of great leaders, great people, but sat there extremely unfulfilled in my own life and in my own heart. It got to a point where I just kind of had to step away from all of it and realize this is my life. And am I living it the way that I desire to live it? Am I seeing what I desire to see? Am I dreaming as big as I could possibly dream? And the harsh answer was no. It sucks, you know, but it was no. And so just kind of reassessing things and going, okay, you know what? I dream of my kids living an adventure, and I dream of my kids pursuing dreams of their own. And what can I do to better facilitate that? And it just involves stepping away from everything that I thought I knew, laying everything on the table and going, yeah, you know what? That doesn't add up. That's okay, because I learned from it, but I'm going to do my best, regardless of what it looks like, to do things different. And you know what? I don't regret it for a minute. I get to see my kids come alive. I actually get to be a part of it and witness it. And rather than travel and sleep in hotel rooms, I get to see my kids grow up. And that's worth it to me. And I win. I win every day. thanks again for watching. It really means a lot. Be sure to subscribe if you're wanting to catch more videos. I hope to have more uploaded soon with different projects. And thank you guys for watching. Be blessed.